Psalm 131, my heart is not proud, Lord. My eyes are not haughty. I do not concern myself with great matters or things too wonderful for me. But I've calmed and quieted myself. I'm like a weaned child with his mother. Like a weaned child, I am content. Israel, put your hope in the Lord, both now and forevermore. She's not going to like this, but I think that I might be married to Snow White. Yeah. Grandkids come to our house and they just want Grammy. Colleen spent hours this summer talking to Lila, our granddaughter. They talked for hours. Colleen would tell Lila how much she's loved and how she's just perfect, and she would sing over her, and she would say how much Uncle Ben loves her and Uncle Seth and how much Grampy loves her. And Lila, who is all of 4 months old, would jabber back to Colleen and would coo and would talk and cough, fake cough, and Colleen would hold her and tell her how beautiful she is and her little fingers. Lila had many, many opinions to express. It was wild to watch the two of them talking. Lila's back in Wisconsin now, but anytime that Colleen and Isaac, our son, FaceTime, Lila literally lunges at the phone. She wants a piece of Grammy. Colleen is the baby whisperer. Ellie, our 3-year-old granddaughter, is tight with Bubba Grammy. And they play all kinds of make-believe games that do it by our front door on the steps. They go Costco shopping. They play playgroup. They talk to each other on thumb phones while they're in the same room. They're talking loud enough for each other to hear. They play hide and seek. They do baking. They go for walks. Whatever Bubba Grammy is doing, Ellie is right there. Colleen is the toddler whisperer. If Colleen's reading a book, James, our grandson, wants to be closest. And if James is upset, even if he's upset over the phone, Colleen starts in with this. Oh, James, it must be hard. Are you sad? What hurts, James? Where does it hurt? You're doing so well, James. And James looks at the phone and he smiles. She talks him right out of it. I've never seen anything like this. Even the dog, we have a dog in our house now, and the dog loves Colleen. I get up at 6 a.m. and I feed the dog and I take him outside and I pick up his poop, but Copper loves Colleen, not me. And he waits outside our bedroom. She's just last out of bed some mornings, until she gets up, and he completely loses his mind when she's out of bed, and she talks to him and tells him he's a good puppy. Oh, I see you. I love you, Copper. You're such a good dog. It just goes on and on. It's like Snow White. She's like the super connector. I read this book that parents and grandparents can help children learn to self-regulate by regulating for them early on. We're born and we're not so sure that we're safe. Our emotions are raw. If we have an adult in our life who can help us regulate, someone who validates our emotions, puts a name to them, helps us feel our emotions, feel them actually, and move through them. If you can get this at a young age, when we are older, we can self-regulate. We all have strong emotions. God actually gave us our emotions. And if we're allowed to feel them, we can identify what they are. We can figure out where they're coming from. We can pay attention to what our body is telling us, and we can move through them, and we can mature, and we can be a help to the people around us. God gave us the emotions, made us, among other things, emotional creatures. I've calmed and quieted my soul, myself. That's a learned behavior. If you don't get this early on in life, it's a little harder, I can tell you from experience, to figure out later on in life. Colleen grew up with an empathetic mother. So she would meet Colleen after school, ask how her day was, engage her in all her emotions, listen to the stories, validate her, and they would wash it all down with chocolate chip cookie and a glass of milk. Colleen tells me that I romanticize this, that it didn't happen every day, but it did happen many times, and she's better for it. I grew up in the fly swatter school of emotions. Yeah, if there was an emotion buzzing around the room, it was sure to get swatted. Yeah, if you were sad, splat, get over it. There's no use in crying over spilt milk. Or if you were down, or dare I say depressed, swat, pick yourself up, boy. Jesus wins. Let's have another round of, and I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus. Yeah, do you know it? Okay, and if you were angry, well, no one in my house ever got angry. Allisons don't get angry. It's amazing. We just don't admit to it. You swat that thing before it annoys me any further, right? The fly swatter school of emotions. Psalm 131 is not the fly swatter school of emotions. It's the school of contentment. I've calmed and quieted myself. It's a picture of self-regulation that happens before God. It's about the contentment and the hope that Christians have. Now, be careful here, because contentment is not a couple of things. I don't know if you're paying attention here, but contentment is not arrogance. My heart is not proud, Lord. My eyes are not haughty. I don't concern myself with great matters or things too wonderful for me. Eugene Peterson did a translation of the Bible, and he wrote it like this: God, I'm not trying to rule the roost. I don't want to be king of the mountain. I haven't meddled where I have no business or fantasized grandiose plans. It's not arrogant. Contentment does not try to control other people. Contentment does not try to control all the events around them. Contentment isn't about pointing out other people's weaknesses or feeling superior when you stand beside them. Illustration. Golf courses have different tee decks. If you're not a golfer, just put up with me for about 2 minutes. A tee deck is where you hit your first shot from. You're headed to the flag. And golf tries to make it fun so everybody can have fun even if they're not super good. So if you're not super good, then you're encouraged to play the forward tees. And as you get better in the game, you can actually move back, make it a little bit harder. It's brilliant. Keep the game fun for everybody. Easier, closer, if you're not that great at it. A little harder, you move back here. Great idea. Every once in a while, I'm not going to say some moron, but every once in a while, somebody plays the wrong tee decks. And I don't know why, but it always seems like I'm behind them. It's a group of guys. It's always guys. And they should not be playing the harder tee decks. They dribble the ball off the tee, and then they duff it again and duff it again. They can hit it 150 yards. I'm like, move forward. Why are these guys playing the blue tees? Move forward. They're slowing everybody down. Their egos are telling them that they're better than they really are. And their egos are only slightly smaller than my ego, who thinks they should listen to me and I should be in control of their life. That's haughty. I think I know what's best for them. I think I know what's best for everybody. If I were in control, my life would be a lot better. So would the whole world, in my humble opinion. That's not contentment. That's not resting in the lap of my Father, who knows what's best. Trying to control by arrogance and anger is not it. There's other ways that people try to control. Control by throwing a fit, by manipulating, by grabbing, by demanding, by writing angry emails or angry texts. That's an infant, a nursing infant, frantic, desperate, not yet familiar enough with his mom, fearful that his appetite is not going to be cared for. That's why this passage talks about a weaned child, not the frantic nursing child. I don't know anything about disordered eating, so I probably shouldn't say anything, but I'm told that disordered eating usually is not about food. It's about control. Control that turns inward. You can't or refuse to control the people outside you, and you're smart enough not to flip and flop on the ground like an infant, but you still desperately need some kind of control. Everything else is out of control in a person's life, and so the one thing that she can, or he, but often she, control is whether or not they eat and whether or not it stays down. One side is controlling by arrogance and anger. The other side is controlling by infantile fear or flailing. It's the same coin, the coin of control. So you're either in life trying to control or learning to be content. I've calmed and quieted myself, says the song. I'm like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child, I am content. It's a picture of a settled kid. It's a kid who's past that frantic nursing stage, who now knows that his mother is good enough, strong enough, able enough, that if he is hungry, she can make a meal. His needs will be met. He is safe because she is good. This isn't psychobabble. This isn't a TED Talk. This is the Bible. This is one of the songs sung by worshipers on their way to Jerusalem, and it's about being emotionally regulated. It's about being regulated and content because the believer has come to trust that her heavenly Father is good, and he knows he's got this. He knows he's got her. He knows, he will supply all of her needs. Here, this may not be. I'm going to geek out for a second. You can shut me off for a minute and a half, but some of you will go with me. One of the things that doesn't come out on this translation is a word that gets used twice. It's nephesh. Nephesh is a Hebrew word. It's a Hebrew word that we translate soul. It's an important word in the Jewish scriptures. It's actually used, can you believe this, 700 times. 700 times nephesh is used in the Jewish scriptures. We translate it soul, which is a bit of a mistake. In this passage, this is a crude translation. I don't know Hebrew, but this is the way verse 2 would actually read. It would read like this. I've calmed and quieted my nephesh. I am like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child is my nephesh. Nephesh. The problem is that many of us think we know what that means. We think that our soul is the non-physical, immortal essence of a person who goes to heaven when the body dies. But that's Plato. That's not the Hebrew understanding. Follow this, is kind of fun. Geek with me. The actual literal translation of nephesh is throat. Your throat. So when the people of Israel were in the wilderness and they were missing the leeks and the cucumbers from back in Egypt, they cry out to God and they say, our nephesh has dried up. When Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, the Bible records that his nephesh was put into iron shackles and he was led away. The Bible says that in Jacob's family, at least at one point, there were 33 nephesh. So it means throat, but it really means the whole person. The whole person, all of you. So you follow me here? You don't have a soul. You are a soul. You are a soul. It's your whole being. It's all of you. It's your body. It's your mind. It's your psyche. It's your emotions. It's your relationships. For your nephesh to be calm and quieted, all the pieces of you become calm and settled. Do you see this? So here's the question of the day. How's your nephesh? How's your nephesh? You're not just a physical body. I know one atheist put it this way. You're just a bag of cells and waste with an expiry date. Sounds like a lot of fun to have at a party, that guy. The Bible disagrees. God fully affirms each body which is more than just bones and muscles and organs and skin and psyche and emotions. The whole piece is a soul. It's a nephesh. And you can be an agitated, arrogant, angry nephesh, or you can be a flopping and a freaking out of control kind of nephesh, or you can learn to calm and quiet your nephesh. How do you do that? Last verse. Israel, put your hope in the Lord, both now and forevermore. A few years ago, a social scientist named Andrew Delbanco wrote a book, and the book is titled The Real American Dream, a Meditation on Hope. And in it, Delbanco argues that all human beings have hopes. Our hopes are usually packaged in the stories that we tell ourselves about the world. And follow this. And he says, our stories can only give us hope if that story helps us overcome, I quote, overcome the lurking suspicion that all of our getting and our spending amounts to nothing more than fidgeting while we wait to die. Come on, baby. Let me try that one more time. You need a story that can overcome the lurking suspicion that all of our getting and our spending amounts to nothing more than fidgeting while we wait to die. What's he saying? He's saying that a story, a life story, is only helpful if it isn't vulnerable to death. It has to be stronger than death, your story, right? So what's your story? What's your story? What do you hold to be truest on planet Earth? Israel, put your hope in the Lord. Did you hear it? Both now and forevermore. See, God has known for millions of years what Andrew Delbanco put into print recently, and it's this, that human beings are precious. We're precious, made by God, for God. Follow me, for eternity, now and forevermore. Just sit with that. Don't go to objections. What if? Don't do it. Just stay with me. Sit with that. You are made by God, for eternity. And God wants to regulate you with his love. He wants to calm you with his presence. He wants to lead you beside quiet waters. He wants to help lie down in green pastures. He does want to walk with you through the valley of the shadow of death. He wants to hold your face in his hands and anoint your head with oil. I'd like to go into the whole story of the Bible with you. The story of a God who wants his children close. The story of a God who comes after them in their slavery. A story of God who doesn't quit on them when they complain and complain and complain. Here's the truth. We see God best in Jesus. Jesus who, we've said this so many times, it doesn't register like it should. Jesus who touches a leper. No one in their right mind, especially back then, would touch a leper. Let's do one of those distance healings. Hey, you leper over there, I'm going to get you from this distance. Jesus makes a point to go up and touch this guy. What do you think it felt like to be that guy who had not been touched for years to be touched? What do you think that felt like in his nephesh? Jesus stopped a parade twice. You can read about this. I think it's Luke 19. Once he stopped this parade. All these people, Jesus parade, everybody's having fun. And whoa, let's stop this thing. And the first time was to heal a guy who wouldn't stop yelling. He just didn't care what everybody else thought. Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Hey, buddy, keep it down. Jesus, son of David, have mercy. Hey, shut it up. And he was louder. And Jesus actually heard him. Stop the parade. Where's that guy? Bring him forward. Bartimaeus. Jesus stopped the parade. He saw Bartimaeus. He healed his nephesh. What do you think that felt like? Be blind, you can't see, you're knocking into things, and then Jesus gets a hold of you, and then you can see, Royal. You can see. Later on in that parade, he stopped it again. This time for the most hated person in the entire town. It was actually the city of Jericho. The most hated person in that town was the tax collector. His name was Zacchaeus. And Jesus stopped the parade, told this guy, come down out of that tree. I'm going to your place for lunch. He walked away from all the other offers for lunch, which would have come with a ceremonial parade. And he chose the most hated guy in town. Sat down at his table, laughed at his jokes. How do you think that felt in Zach's nefesh? How do you think? Jesus lived with 12 guys for 3 years who often behaved like a grade 7 class trip when the bus breaks down. I mean, these guys were bunglers. Has anybody watched an episode of The Chosen? Okay, 6 or 7 of you. I'd like to quadruple that number. The Chosen. It's a series about Jesus. I love it. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. But something happens in my nefesh every time I see the character of Jesus interact with real people like me. Here's your homework. You got homework today at church. Who knew? Go home, watch episode 6 of season 1. It's called Indescribable Compassion. Pay attention to your nefesh, the chosen. You need Jesus. I need Jesus. He says he's available to anybody who will come after him. Contentment is not found in trying to control other people. Contentment is not found in being heavy-handed or manipulative. It's found by choosing to bring your real life, not your pretend religious life, your real life real close to the real God who really loves you. And it's learning to get up on his lap and to rest and wait for his time, trusting him because he's good.